This video will be about mounting the fan to a hat. Now, using a hat as a scaffold. Scaffold is something that supports something else. Using this hat as a scaffold or supporting element for the functional part of the air purification system, that is the fan, filter, and battery, and then of course put the bag with the window around it. This will work whether you're making your own bag with the window or whether you're ordering the $23 one from Amazon. So this hat has a brim, and the brim can be useful in terms of making sure whatever is going to be the window is some distance away from your face. And it also gives me, I can kind of mount the motor to this, so what I'm thinking of doing is cutting a hole in here and then gluing it, and then I might actually use string to secure these rivet holes to here since this is already there. You could also use a lot of glue, but the more glue you have on the part of the hat that's going to touch your forehead, the less comfortable it's likely to be. If you're using something like a bike helmet, which is already has a rigid, non-easily bent shape, then you could just glue it straight to the bike helmet. But in this design, I'm going to leave a little bit of space between my forehead and the motor. This will also give me some room if I want to, say, angle it up to get it to fit in there. So what I'm going to do now is place it where I want it to go, and I'm just going to trace a line around the edge of the fan just that I know where to cut. And I think that's actually trying to get it kind of orientated the way I want, so that there's a kind of mix between art and design. So in addition to having something that functions, it's nice to have something that also meets aesthetics. Aesthetics is how something looks. Can actually, I think it can actually mean just how something is perceived. And it's often used in the art world for referring to the appearance of things. Okay, so now I have that window. Now I just need to cut it. I think I'll use a razor blade. It's good to have a surface whenever you're cutting. You don't have something fancy especially for cutting, you can use something like an old cutting board that you can separate from what you use for cooking. Now, if I had a sewing machine, I would actually, when I'm done with this, sew around it, because when you cut open something made of layers of fabric, it can often come apart. You could also sew it manually, but right now that's not where I want to invest that much of my time. I am planning to make my own hood using the method that I've mentioned of a 2-liter bottle and a bag. In that case, I will probably sew on the 2-liter bottle. Though if you're gonna sew something with heavy plastic, it's a good idea to make the holes first, because sewing needle will have a very tough time on the plastic that makes up a 2-liter bottle. Alright, so the aesthetics could be a little bit better. That's not, I was kind of going for a rectangle. That's not quite a rectangle. Not even a parallelogram. It's kind of close to a trapezoid because at least these two edges are... Actually, I forgot the exact definition of a trapezoid. Echo, define trapezoid.
As a noun, trapezoid is usually defined as a quadrilateral plane figure having 2 parallel and 2 non-parallel sides. As an adjective,
okay, yeah, so it would be a trapezoid for these two lines.
Relating to.
I wasn't sure if a trapezoid actually needed to have, if there had to be right angles on parts of the trapezoid, and no. Just 2 of the lines have to be parallel. So this is, to the extent that these 2 lines are parallel, it's a trapezoid. In any case, I do have a place where I should be able to mount the fan. And right now, I think where I put the fan. Alright. So that looks like that should work. I could put a little bit of glue around here to secure it, but I'm going to wait until I see how it will fit in the hood first. But I am going to get some thread right now and actually at least tie these to the hat, especially since that's something that I can easily undo. The type of cord that I'm using, it's like a type of string made by a lot of other strings usually. That might not be the specific definition, but this is a cord, and this cord is made out of other pieces of string, which are themselves cords woven together, which also have smaller pieces of string weaving them together. So it's a weave of a weave of a weave. And this type of cord the ends come apart very easily. So in order to get this through the holes, I put some tape. You can melt you can melt them together, but if I did that, it wouldn't actually fit through that hole. Not even sure this well. Yeah, it does. So I lucked out. And I'm just going to thread this through. Since the hat already has a band on it, I can use that to help me tie this together. And if I need to make further adjustments, I could just simply untie this. Now, if I do use this, eventually, like when this is all put together, I'll probably melt this down just like this, but because I might take it apart and rethread it, actually, well, change out this tape with probably some duct tape. But I'm going to wait. I'm not going to melt it until I'm really done with it, because after I melt it, I won't be able to thread it through without cutting it again. So this is, again, this was a video on mounting the pump. In this case, that pump is a fan. The air pump to a hat. And for aesthetics and also for functionality. I'm going to make a square knot. Alright. Square knot is just kind of like two loops grabbing each other. And the way you do it is you make sure the ends of the knot leave parallel to the string that they're next to.